Welcome back, everybody, for deep dive number 2.
Number 2.
This time, we're all about those itsy-bitsy
Oh,
bundles of perfection,
yes.
newborn kittens.
I love this topic.
You too. It's so fascinating, and there's so much to learn.
So much.
Whether you've just adopted a kitten,
Yeah.
fostering a litter,
Mm-hmm.
or just curious about these tiny creatures,
Absolutely.
we've got you covered. We're about to dive into the fascinating world of caring for these little ones. And trust me,
Yes.
it's a lot more than just milk and cuddles.
Yeah, a lot more.
So much more to it.
Exactly. It's amazing how much goes into ensuring these tiny, fragile beings thrive.
Exactly. And one thing that really surprised me
Okay.
was how much warmth they actually need.
Oh.
Like, I had no idea.
It's a lot.
Imagine needing your room to be like a constant 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit
I know.
just to feel
Like
comfortable.
a sauna.
It's a sauna for kittens.
He is.
So why do they need it that hot?
Well, unlike us, or adult cats even, kittens under 3 weeks old can't regulate their own body temperature,
Oh,
so they're completely reliant on their environment to stay warm.
that makes sense.
It's like they're these tiny furry radiators that haven't quite figured out how to turn on yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we basically need to create that warmth for them.
Yes.
Like they would have snuggled up with their mom,
Exactly.
but how do we actually achieve that?
Well, there are a few safe and effective ways to do that.
Okay.
Heating pads, set on low, tucked under a blanket, can work really well. Or even a microwavable rice bag wrapped in a towel.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, but Dr. Sarah Wooten, a veterinarian who specializes in feline care,
Oh.
she really emphasizes making sure there are no hot spots that could burn the kittens.
Oh, of course.
So always,
Gotta be careful.
monitor and use common sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about feeding.
Okay.
I know everyone's probably heard this a million times,
Yes.
but it's so important, so we're going to say it again.
Gotta reiterate.
Cow's milk is a big no-no for kittens.
Big no-no.
But what's the deal with that? Why is it so bad for them?
So it really boils down to their delicate digestive systems.
Okay.
Cow's milk just doesn't have the right nutrients that they need, and it can cause some serious tummy troubles,
No.
like diarrhea, which can be really dangerous for such tiny creatures.
Wow.
Dr. Lisa Mazzaferro, she has a ton of experience with these neonatal kittens,
Yeah.
and she really stresses using kitten-specific formula.
Okay. So how often do these little guys need to eat?
Get ready for this. Every 2 to 3 hours.
Why?
The first 3 weeks.
Every 2 to 3 hours.
Every 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, my God.
It's a lot of feedings, I know.
That is a lot of feedings.
But it's because their tiny tummies can only hold so much at once.
Okay.
And they have these incredibly high calorie needs, and they're growing so rapidly.
So they're eating around the clock to fuel that growth.
Exactly. They're literally doubling in size every few days.
Wow.
Yeah. So to make sure they're on track, Dr. Mazzaferro recommends weighing them daily. A healthy kitten should be gaining at least 10 grams per day.
So it's like their little growth chart.
Exactly.
They're checking in,
Making sure they're on track.
making sure they're growing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's something I bet most people don't know.
Okay.
Stimulating elimination.
Yes.
What in the world
It's a thing.
does that even mean?
It's a thing. So newborn kittens actually can't pee or poop on their own for the first few weeks of life.
Is that right?
It's true. Their tiny bodies just aren't developed enough to do it automatically.
So, like, what are we supposed to do? We have to help them.
We do. We have to help them go to the bathroom.
I had no idea.
It sounds strange, but it's essential. So basically, we're stepping in for the mama cat.
Okay.
She would naturally stimulate those functions by licking them.
Oh,
So we can mimic that by gently rubbing the kitten's genital area with a warm, damp cloth after each feeding.
I never would have thought of that.
It's one of those things you don't really think about until you're in the situation.
Right. So how long do we have to be bathroom helpers?
Bathroom helpers, Dr. Margie Shirk, who specializes in feline practice, she suggests continuing this until they're around 3 to 4 weeks old.
Okay.
That's when they start to develop more control.
Got it.
But neglecting this can lead to some serious issues like urinary retention or constipation.
So it's really important.
It's essential.
Okay. So we're adding bathroom helper to the list of newborn kitten caregiver responsibilities.
Absolutely.
Speaking of things we need to do for these little ones,
Yes.
let's talk about creating a safe haven for them.
A safe haven.
Because these little guys are curious and tiny
Oh, so curious.
and fragile.
And into everything.
So what are some things we should keep in mind when setting up their space?
Well, imagine being that small
Oh, my God.
and exploring a new world. Everything is huge and potentially dangerous.
That's true.
So we need to think like a kitten
Okay.
and kitten-proof their environment. The ASPCA has great resources on this, by the way.
They do. I've seen those.
Yeah. So basically anything that could be a choking hazard, string yarn, rubber bands, little toys from older siblings,
Right.
those all need to be removed. And electrical cords are a big one.
Oh, yeah?
Kittens love to chew.
They do.
And you'd be surprised how many common houseplants are toxic to cats.
I actually didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot.
Wow.
So, yeah, we got to be really diligent about what's in their reach.
Okay, so we've got to remove all the hazards.
Yeah.
Make sure there's nothing they can get into.
Exactly.
What about temperature? Like, do we need to worry about drafts?
Absolutely. Just like with keeping them warm, we want to make sure their space is draft-free.
Okay.
Think cozy and comfortable like a little nest.
Oh, I love that.
Dr. Jane Brunt, who leads the Catalyst Council, she stresses that a quiet environment is important too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it just helps reduce stress for everyone involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're talking warm, draft-free, quiet, and safe.
Exact.
Okay, perfect.
Kitten haven.
Kitten haven. I love it. So we've covered warmth feeding, stimulating elimination, and creating a safe space. What else should we be thinking about when it comes to their overall health?
Well, kittens are especially vulnerable because their immune systems are still developing.
Oh, right.
So that means we need to be extra vigilant in watching for any signs of illness.
Okay. Like, what should we be looking out for? So any lethargy, if they're not as playful as usual,
Right.
refusing to eat, any vomiting or diarrhea, or if you notice they're having difficulty breathing,
Okay.
those are all signs that something could be seriously wrong.
So basically, any major change in their behavior or appetite
Yes,
warrants a call to the vet.
exactly. Dr. Kelly Ballantyne, a specialist in veterinary behavior, emphasizes that early intervention is key when it comes to kitten health.
So don't hesitate to reach out if we're concerned.
Don't wait.
Okay. And speaking of being prepared,
Yes.
what about those initial vet visits?
So Banfield Pet Hospital recommends scheduling a wellness exam soon after bringing a kitten home.
It's a chance for the vet to check for any underlying health issues and give you some personalized advice.
That's good.
Yeah. And always have emergency contact info readily available just in case.
Right. It's like having a baby. You got to be ready for anything.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about socialization.
Okay.
I know it's super important for dogs,
Yes.
but what about kittens? Is there a critical period for them too?
Absolutely. There is.
Okay.
It's typically between 2 and 7 weeks of age.
Okay.
That's when they're most open to new experiences and forming positive associations with
Right.
the other animals, their environment.
So those first few weeks are really crucial
Yeah.
for shaping how they interact with the world.
Exactly.
So what are some things we can do to make sure they grow up to be well-adjusted cats?
So Dr. Emily Levine, an animal behaviorist, she has some great advice on this.
Okay.
She stresses gentle handling,
Okay.
exposing them to a variety of sights and sounds,
Yeah.
but always in a positive way. Think gentle petting, soft voices, introducing new toys slowly.
So basically no loud noises.
No loud noise.
Or sudden movements.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. What about treats? Do those work as well for kittens as they do for dogs?
They actually do. The Best Friends Animal Society recommends using treats and praise
Oh.
to reinforce good behavior in kittens.
That's great.
It helps them associate those positive experiences with new things.
Awesome. So it's all about setting them up for success.
Exactly.
And I guess socialization shouldn't stop after those first 7 weeks.
No, it's an ongoing process.
Right. Even adult cats benefit from continued exposure to new things.
In moderation, of course.
Right, in moderation, of
Yeah.
course, not overwhelming them.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about their physical needs
Yeah.
and their emotional development.
Mm-hmm.
But what about their tiny developing minds?
Oh, their minds.
When does playtime come into the picture?
That's a great question. It's easy to think that newborn kittens are all about sleeping and eating.
Right.
But even at this young age, play is so crucial for their development. Oh, yeah. It's not just about entertainment.
Okay.
They're actually learning about their environment, developing coordination, and building confidence through play.
So it's like their version of going to preschool.
Exactly.
You're getting all those foundational skills.
Those foundational skills.
So what kind of games can we even play with kittens this young?
You don't need anything fancy.
Okay, good.
Simple toys like feather wands, ping pong balls, even crumpled up paper can provide hours of fun.
Oh, I bet. And those are all things we probably have around the house.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Just watch them go crazy for a simple shoelace dragged across the floor.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine.
It's adorable.
So are there any toys we should avoid at this stage?
Definitely anything with small parts that could be a choking hazard.
Of course.
And always supervise playtime
Right.
to make sure they don't get tangled up in anything.
Safety first.
Exactly. You want to encourage that curiosity,
Yes.
but safety is key.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so we've covered their need for warmth, proper nutrition, the whole bathroom helper situation,
Bathroom helper.
creating a safe space, and even the importance of early socialization and play.
We've covered a lot.
We have.
It's a lot.
Is there anything else we should be aware of?
Well, we can't forget about the transition to solid food.
Oh, right.
It's a big step for them.
I think it is.
Going from an all-liquid diet to something more substantial.
So when do we start introducing kitten food?
So around 5 to 4 weeks old, you can start offering them a little bit of wet kitten food mixed with their formula.
Okay, so nice and gradual.
Very gradual.
And what kind of food should we be looking for?
Hill's Pet Nutrition, a company that specializes in pet food,
Hmm.
they emphasize choosing foods specifically formulated for kittens
Okay.
that are rich in protein and fat to support that growth spurt.
So no table scraps.
No table scraps.
No human food.
Not yet.
Ah.
Their digestive systems are still delicate,
Makes sense.
and any sudden changes can cause upset stomachs.
So we gradually introduce the wet food, and then what? When do they fully transition to solids?
It usually takes about a week to fully transition them.
Okay.
Dr. Deborah Zorian, a specialist in veterinary internal medicine, she recommends starting with small amounts of wet food several times a day
Okay.
and gradually increasing the portion size while decreasing the amount of formula.
So it's like weaning a human baby,
Exactly.
but with tiny cans of pat.
Exactly. Tiny cans of patty.
I love it. Now, I know you mentioned cleanliness earlier,
Yes.
but I feel like it's worth revisiting,
Absolutely.
especially with all this talk about food and litter boxes.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
It's one of the most important aspects of caring for these little ones.
Okay.
They're so susceptible to infections.
Oh, right.
So maintaining a clean environment is non-negotiable.
So what are some key things we should be focusing on?
Think about everything that comes into contact with the kittens, their bedding, food bowls, toys, the litter box.
Okay.
All of these need to be cleaned regularly and thoroughly. And don't forget about hand washing. Oh, of course. Dr. Susan Little, a well-known expert in feline health.
Right.
She really emphasizes that.
Okay. So we're washing our hands before and after handling them.
Yes, just like you would with a human baby.
Exactly. And what about the litter box? How often should we be scooping that?
The Cornell Feline Health Center recommends scooping the litter box at least twice a day
Okay.
and completely changing the litter once a week.
Got it.
And don't forget to disinfect the box itself regularly.
Okay, so basically professional pooper scooper is now added to the list.
Added to the list.
It never ends.
It never ends.
Okay. Anything else we should be mindful of?
The type of cleaning products we use is important.
Oh, right.
Fragrance-free is best to avoid irritating those sensitive little noses.
Good point. We tend to forget how powerful scents are for animals.
Absolutely.
So cleanliness is definitely next to godliness when it comes to kittens.
It really is.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something a little more heartwarming. The bond we form with these tiny creatures.
Ah, the bond.
All the cuddles and purrs.
The best part.
It's got to be the best part.
It is.
The whole
And
experience.
cuddles make it all worthwhile.
They do.
Yeah.
So how do we go about building that trust with them?
Well, it starts with understanding their body language.
Okay.
Are they approaching you for attention, or are they trying to hide?
Right.
Respecting their boundaries and letting them come to you on their own terms is key.
So we're basically learning to speak cat.
Exactly.
And like any language, it takes practice.
It does.
It does.
Dr. Pam Reed, a leading expert in animal behavior,
Mm-hmm.
she reminds us that patience and consistency are crucial when interacting with kittens.
Okay.
They need to know that they can rely on us to be gentle and predictable.
It's all about building that foundation of trust.
Foundation of trust.
And then hopefully the cuddles and purrs will follow.
Exactly.
And we can't forget to celebrate those little victories along the way.
Yes.
Dr. Karen, overall another veterinary behaviorist, she encourages us to acknowledge those moments that strengthen our bond.
Those little moments.
Like the first purr
Yeah.
or the head boop.
Head boop.
It's those little things
Little things.
that make it all worthwhile.
Exactly. It's a reminder that we're not just providing for their physical needs,
Right.
but also nurturing their emotional well-being.
Ah,
And that's what makes the whole experience so rewarding.
it really is.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see them thrive
It is.
and grow
Yes.
and become these amazing little companions.
Exactly.
So as we've been diving into all these details about kitten care,
Yeah.
I've been struck by how much there is to learn.
It's a lot.
I thought I knew a bit about cats,
I thought I did too.
but this is a whole new level.
Whole new level.
And speaking of details, I wanted to circle back to something we touched on earlier,
Okay.
the importance of play.
Play.
We talked about it in terms of development,
Right.
but I'm curious, what are the long-term benefits of making sure kittens get enough playtime?
Well, think about it this way. Play is how kittens learn about the world around them.
That's true.
It's how they develop crucial skills,
Mm-hmm.
like hunting, problem-solving, social interaction.
So it's not just about burning off energy. It's
Mhm.
about shaping their personalities and preparing them for life as adult cats.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
It is Dr. Sophia Yin, who we've mentioned a few times already. She was a huge advocate for the power of play.
Right.
She believed that enriching play experiences could prevent behavioral problems later on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So aside from the feather wands and the ping pong balls, are there any other types of toys we should be offering?
Variety is key.
Okay.
The Cat Behavior Associates, they suggest rotating toys weekly
Okay.
to keep things interesting and prevent boredom.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. Tunnels are great for encouraging exploration.
I love tunnels.
And puzzle toys that dispense treats can help them develop their problem-solving abilities.
Oh my gosh. That's like their own little feline obstacle course.
It is. It is.
I love that. And what about interactive play? I imagine that's important for bonding too.
Absolutely. Interactive play where you're actively engaged with the kitten
Mm-hmm.
helps build that bond
Right.
and teaches them appropriate social skills.
So it's not just about throwing a toy and walking away.
No, you got to be present.
We got to be there.
You're their playmate, not just their toy dispenser.
I love that.
Huh.
Now, before we wrap up this section on kitten care,
Okay.
is there any other advice you'd give to someone taking on the responsibility of caring for a newborn kitten?
Well, we've covered a lot,
We.
from the practicalities of feeding and cleaning to the importance of play and building a loving bond.
Right.
But if I had to emphasize one thing above all else,
What's that?
it would be to trust your instincts.
Trust our instincts.
You know your kitten better than anyone.
Okay.
If something seems off, if their behavior changes, if they're not eating or eliminating as usual, don't hesitate to reach out to your veterinarian.
So better safe than sorry. Okay. Good advice. And remember, caring for a newborn kitten is demanding,
Yes.
but it's also incredibly rewarding.
The most rewarding.
Embrace the challenges.
Yes.
Celebrate the victories.
Celebrate
And cherish every moment of this incredible journey.
It's journey,
It really is.
but it's so worth it.
It is so worth it.
You get so much love back.
You do.
You do.
So much purr.
So much fear.
Okay, so we've talked about how to create a safe and nurturing environment for these little ones.
Yes.
We've covered feeding, cleaning, health monitoring,
Mhm.
socialization, and play.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
Right.
But hopefully it's giving you a good foundation for
Yes.
understanding the amazing journey of raising a newborn kitten.
Absolutely. And remember, there's a wealth of information out there.
Yes.
From reputable sources like the ASPCA, the Cornell Feline Health Center, and countless others.
Exactly. So if you're feeling overwhelmed,
Don't be afraid to reach out.
absolutely. There's a whole community of cat lovers and
Yes.
experts ready to support you.
Absolutely. We're all in this together.
We are. Now, before we move on
Yeah.
to the next stage of kitten development,
Okay.
I want to take a moment to appreciate just how incredible these tiny creatures are.
They are amazing.
They're resilient, adaptable, and full of love.
And purrs.
And purrs. Lots of purrs.
So many purrs.
They bring so much joy into our lives.
You really do.
And it's an honor to be a part of their journey.
Absolutely an honor.
So let's raise a glass to these little miracles.
Cheers to kittens.
Cheers to kittens.
Ah.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork for understanding the basics of newborn kitten care.
The foundation.
But now it's time to move on to the next chapter.
Okay.
As our kittens grow,
Yes.
so do their needs and behaviors.
That's true.
So get ready to dive into the fascinating world of caring for those curious,
Yes.
playful,
Yeah.
and increasingly independent
Totally.
older kittens.
I love this stage.
Me too. There's so much fun.
It's when their personalities really start to shine.
Exactly. So tuned as we explore the joys and challenges
Yes.
of navigating this next stage of kitten parenthood.
Kitten parenthood. I love it.
I love it too.
Okay. So buckle up
You ready?
because things are about to get even more adorable.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
It's going to be great.
It is.
It's amazing, isn't it?
What's that?
How much these tiny creatures depend on us for like every single thing
I know it's
in
crazy.
those first few weeks.
It really is. Makes you appreciate mama cats out in the wild.
Oh, absolutely.
Just how much they do.
So much.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about their physical needs.
Yeah.
But what about their little developing minds?
Oh.
When does the whole playtime thing come into the picture?
That's a good question. You know, it's easy to think that newborn kittens are just all about the sleeping and the eating.
Right. Just tiny, sleepy fur balls.
Exactly.
Nah.
But even at this young age, play is crucial for their development.
Really?
It is.
I wouldn't have thought they'd be ready for play that early. They are. It's not just about keeping them entertained.
Right.
They're learning about their environment. They're developing coordination. They're building confidence through play.
So it's like their version of preschool.
It is, exactly.
They're getting those foundational skills.
Foundational skills.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of games do we even play with kittens this young?
Well, you don't need anything fancy.
Okay, good.
Simple toys like feather wands, ping pong balls, even crumpled up pieces of paper.
Oh, those are classics.
I know.
Things we already have around the house.
Exactly. You can just watch them go crazy over a simple shoelace dragged across the floor.
I can just imagine. It's so cute.
It's so cute.
So are there any toys that we should avoid at
Okay.
this stage?
Definitely anything with small parts that could be a choking hazard.
Of course.
And you always want to supervise playtime.
Right?
Make sure they don't get tangled up in anything.
Safety first.
Safety first.
Uh-huh.
We want to encourage their curiosity,
Yes.
but safety's paramount.
It is. Okay, so we've covered their need for warmth,
Yeah.
proper nutrition,
Yes.
the whole bathroom helper situation,
Well, helpers.
creating a safe space,
Yeah.
even the importance of early socialization and play.
It's a lot.
We've covered so much.
We have.
Is there anything else we should be aware of?
Yes. We can't forget about the transition to solid food.
Oh, that's right.
That's a big step.
It is.
You know, going from an all-liquid diet
Yeah.
to something more substantial.
So when do we actually start introducing the kitten food?
So around 3.5 to 4 weeks old, you can start offering them a little bit of wet kitten food mixed with their formula.
Okay, so nice and gradual.
Very gradual.
Just start slow.
Start slow. What kind of food should we be looking for?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So Hill's Pet Nutrition, company that specializes in pet food,
Right.
they emphasize choosing foods that are specifically formulated for kittens
Okay.
that are rich in protein and fat
Makes sense.
to support that growth spurt.
So no table scraps.
No table scraps.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, so we gradually introduce the wet food, and then when do they fully transition to eating solids?
So it usually takes about a week to fully transition them.
Okay.
Dr. Debra Zoran, a specialist in veterinary internal medicine, she recommends starting with small amounts of wet food several times a day
Okay.
and gradually increasing the portion size while decreasing the amount of formula.
So it's like weaning a human baby,
It is, exactly.
but with tiny cans of pate.
Tiny cans of pate. I love that analogy.
I know.
Yeah.
It's cute. Now, I know you mentioned cleanliness earlier.
Yes.
But I feel like it's worth revisiting,
Oh, absolutely.
especially with all this talk about food and litter boxes.
It's so important. It's one of the most crucial aspects of caring for newborn kittens.
Really?
They're so susceptible to infections.
Oh, right. Because their immune system is developing.
So maintaining a clean environment is non-negotiable.
Okay. So what are some things we should be really focusing on?
Think about everything that comes into contact with those kittens. Their bedding food bowls, toys, the litter box.
Right. All of it.
All of it needs to be cleaned regularly and thoroughly. And hand washing?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Dr. Susan Little,
Mm-hmm.
a well-known expert in feline health,
Right.
she really emphasizes that.
Of course. So we're washing our hands before and after handling them.
Just like you would a human baby.
Makes sense. What about the litter box? How often are we scooping that?
The Cornell Feline Health Center recommends scooping the litter box at least twice a day
Bro.
and completely changing the litter once a week.
Okay.
And don't forget to disinfect the box itself regularly.
So we're adding professional pooper scooper.
Add it to the list.
The very long list
The list is long.
of kitten care duties.
It is, but it's worth it.
It is. Anything else we should keep in mind?
A type of cleaning products you use.
Oh, right.
Fragrance-free is best.
Okay.
We want to avoid irritating those sensitive little noses.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We forget how powerful scents can be for animals.
Absolutely.
Okay. So cleanliness truly is
Yes.
next to godliness when it comes to kittens.
It really is. Now let's shift gears a bit and
Okay.
talk about something a little more heartwarming.
Okay.
The bond we form with these tiny creatures.
Oh, the bond. All the cuddles and the purrs.
The best part.
It's got to be the best part of the whole experience.
The cuddles make it all worthwhile.
They do. They really do. So how do we go about building that trust with them?
So it starts with understanding their body language.
Okay.
Are they approaching you for attention, or are they trying to hide?
Right.
Respecting their boundaries and letting them come to you on their own terms is key.
So we're basically learning to speak cat.
They are. We are learning to speak cat.
Like any language, it takes practice.
It does. It does. It does. Dr. Pam Reed,
Yes.
a leading expert in animal behavior.
I've heard of her.
She reminds us that patience and consistency are so crucial
Okay.
when we're interacting with kittens.
Right.
They need to know that they can rely on us to be gentle and predictable.
So it's all about building that foundation of trust.
That foundation of trust.
And then hopefully the cuddles and purrs will follow.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate those little victories along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Karen Overall, another veterinary behaviorist,
Right.
she encourages us to acknowledge those little moments that strengthen our bond.
Yeah, like what kind of moments?
The first time a kitten purrs in your lap or rubs against your leg.
Ah,
Those tiny little moments.
it's those little things
The little things.
that make it all worthwhile.
Exactly. It's a reminder that we're not just providing for their physical needs, but their emotional well-being as well.
I love that.
And that's what makes this whole experience so rewarding.
It really is. It's amazing to see them thrive
It is.
and grow and become these amazing companions.
It is. It is.
It's amazing.
And then,
Now let's talk a little bit more about play.
okay.
We talked about it in terms of development,
Right.
but I'm curious about the long-term benefits of making sure that they get enough playtime.
So think about it this way. Play is how kittens learn about the world.
Okay.
It's how they develop crucial skills like hunting,
Mm-hmm.
problem-solving, social interaction.
So it's not just burning energy,
Nope.
it's shaping their personalities
It is.
and preparing them for adult life.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It is Dr. Sophia Yin. She was a huge advocate for the power of play.
Right.
She believed that enriching play could actually prevent behavioral problems later on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so aside from the feather wands and ping pong balls,
Yeah.
are there any other toys that we should be offering?
Variety is key.
Okay.
The Cat Behavior Associates, they suggest rotating toys every week
Okay,
to keep things interesting and prevent boredom.
that's smart.
Yeah, tunnels are great.
Oh, I love cuddle.
And puzzle toys, those
Yeah.
are great for problem solving.
Oh my gosh, it's like a little feline obstacle course.
It is.
I love that.
Yeah.
What about interactive play?
Interact play's great.
I imagine that's good for bonding.
It helps build that bond, and it teaches them appropriate social skills.
Okay, so we shouldn't just be throwing the toy and walking away.
No.
We need to be present.
You got to be present.
Yeah.
You're their playmate,
I love that.
not just a toy dispenser.
Okay, so before we wrap up this whole deep dive on kitten care,
Yeah.
is there any other advice that you'd give to someone who's taking on this responsibility?
So we've covered so much,
Yeah.
from feeding to cleaning
Yeah.
to health monitoring to socialization
A lot.
to play to building a bond.
Yes.
If I had to emphasize one thing,
Okay.
it's trust your instincts.
Trust our instincts.
You know your kitten better than anyone.
Okay.
If something seems off,
Right.
if their behavior changes, don't hesitate to call your vet.
So better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
Good advice. And remember, caring for a newborn kitten is a lot of work,
It is
but it's so incredibly rewarding.
the most rewarding.
Embrace the challenges,
Yes.
celebrate the little victories,
Sorry,
and cherish every moment.
It's a journey.
It is a journey.
It's so worth it.
It is so worth it. So we've covered how to create a safe and nurturing environment.
Yes.
We've talked about feeding, cleaning, health monitoring, socialization, and play.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
So hopefully this has given you a good foundation for understanding this incredible journey.
Absolutely. And remember, there's so much info out there
Yes.
from reputable sources like the ASPCA,
Right.
the Cornell Feline Health Center.
Exactly.
So many resources.
So many resources.
Don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Absolutely. There's a whole community out there
Yes.
ready to support you.
We're all in this together.
We are. So before we sign off,
Okay.
I want to take a moment to appreciate just how amazing these little creatures are.
They're incredible.
They're resilient.
Yes.
They're adaptable.
so adaptable.
They're so full of love
And purrs.
and purrs. Lots and lots of purrs.
So many purrs.
They really do bring so much joy,
They do.
and it's such an honor
It is.
to be part of their journey.
It's amazing.
So let's raise a glass to these little miracles.
And cheers to kittens.
Cheers to kittens. And if you found this deep dive helpful,
Yes.
please share it with your fellow pet lovers.
Spread the knowledge.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips on all things feline.
Until
next time, stay possum and meow-tastic.
Meow-tastic.